Hello, dear viewer, and welcome to another episode of the Catholic League Forum. I'm Mike McDonald, Director of Communications of the Catholic League, and joining me today is Bill Donohue, President and CEO of the Catholic League. Now, Bill, last week we kind of teased that we were going to do a little bit on the big survey that we did here, and we'll get into that in just a second, but as always, another busy week at the Catholic League. So I was hoping to give our dear viewer just a quick little lightning round of what we went over this week. We started the week pretty strong, talking about no support for radical abortion, the radical pro-abortion agenda. Can you give us some thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the reason I wrote that is because all we're hearing today is that the pro-life people have gone extreme. No, we're not the extremists. We're not the ones who believe in partial birth abortion. We're not the ones who believe in third trimester. We're not the ones who believe in infanticide. Oh, yes, I'm talking about in New York State, where if the baby is born as a result of a botched abortion, there's no criminal penalty if you don't attend to it. Governor Northam in Virginia. So the problem is on their side.
Yeah, absolutely. And then moving on, you took a look, personal reflection on the Penn area station getting worse under Hochul. Can you tell us what's going on around here?
Yeah, the Catholic League, we're right here in the Penn Station area. It's deteriorated, it's filthy, it's dangerous, and it started under de Blasio. Today, the big problem is Alvin Bragg. He's the DA. He's the cut and let them loose guy. And you have rapists, you have murderers out there in the street. It's unbelievable. The person who can do something about it is Governor Kathy Hochul. She can fire Bragg. The mayor can't. And she refuses to do so. So the blood is on her hands.
Yeah, absolutely. And then moving on, you did a piece on how Vanderbilt has dodged a bullet. What bullet did they dodge?
Well, strange enough, I mean, Vanderbilt's a nice school, but they have a pediatric center there for transgender, and they have a woman who specializes in law, health law, who said, if you don't cooperate, you doctors, in performing sex reassignment surgery, then you're out. We don't care about your conscientious objections, even if they're religiously based. We jumped on that. It's getting better.
Good. And just today, Friday, you had out a piece on the STD rate is out of control.
Yeah, and that term "out of control" is not my language, Mike, as you well know.
Yeah.
That came from the doctors and CDC people. It is out of control, and as usual, it's mostly gays who are driving this whole situation. And you're not going to change this through science and technology and education. It doesn't work. What works is changing your behavior. And if you don't change your behavior and live a reckless sex life, I don't care if you're straight or gay, you create problems for yourself and for others.
Yeah. So, dear viewer, like I mentioned, this is just a lightning round. We've got a lot more information on these topics. Everything that Bill just talked about, you can get a lot more meat on the bone if you go to our website, catholicleague.org. Catholicleague.org will have a link in the description below. But, Bill, I really want to spend some time talking about the survey. This was a big undertaking. Right. A special thanks to Jim McLaughlin and McLaughlin Associates. They did a great job on this. And we actually do have some good news. Like, you hear all sorts of negative news. There was that crazy Pew survey. There was a wish list that there's going to be no Christians left in the country.
Right.
But we found some good news. And just let's start off with this one. When asked how important your Catholic faith is to you, 9 in 10 people said it was very important.
Well, that's important. But you know what was the real mind blower, Mike, is that 78% of those people who rarely or never go to church felt the same way. Now, what does that mean? It means these people are ripe for the pickings. They're not just in the category of the nuns. We don't believe in any, what religion do you belong to? None. No. A lot of those people there are also people who could answer in another survey the fact that, no, I don't go to church much at all, but yet their religion still means something to them. That's not picked up by other polls.
Right. No, and it's a very good point you just raised there. As Catholics, we should be doing a better job of reaching out to them, bringing them to church with you. Bill, I want to move on to another point, though, and this one I was very excited about. We put the question to him, is the Catholic Church an important voice of morality in America? And you wrote, you bet it is. 75% say it is. This includes 86% of weekly attendant of people who weekly go to Mass, and 74% who monthly go. And almost 7 in 10, 68%, for those who rarely go. And that really brings me a lot of joy. Like before I came to the Catholic League, I was working in D.C., and this was always rooted in my Catholic upbringing.
Right.
So that we should really listen to the church, and you talk about this all the time.
Well,
it's an important voice for morality, and our policies are common sense, and that's, I think, is sort of foundational and gives me a lot of encouragement coming in here every day that we're making a difference on that.
Well, right, and I think we are making a difference, but this is also a message. to the laity, not just the laity, but to the clergy, to the priests and bishops. The church, the people who pay the bills, and even the people who don't go to church much, they also want you to speak out. That's so encouraging about this. Forget about the people who weekly attend church. Okay, we expect them to be loyal by definition, and of course they are. What about the people who have fallen away? Not all of them are angry. They're not full of hatred against the Catholic Church. They may have just gotten lazy, quite frankly. And I happen to know a number of people that I think they're good people, and they, in many sense, they love the Catholic Church, but they don't go to church because they're lazy. I'm not excusing them, but there's a difference between that and somebody who's in a rage against the Catholic Church. They know that their church that their Catholicism is important to them. We need to reach out to them.
Yeah. And Bill, I just want to touch on something you sort of hinted to there. You're talking about the laity really want to hear from the priests,
right.
Talking about some of these moral issues that are facing the country. And it's, according to the survey, it's 74% want to hear something to 19 who don't want to hear something. I know you're excited about this. So can you?
Yeah, I mean, again, I just hope that the bishops and the priests are listening. Don't be intimidated by the minority who are trying to silence you. That's what they want you to do, because what you're talking about is controversial. Well, yeah, we live in controversial times, okay? The Catholic Church has the answer to these problems, but we need more people from the pulpit speaking out with clarity.
No, absolutely. And dear viewer, I'm sure you'll probably remember this from last week where Bill had to correct me and said this was the 50th when it's really the 60th anniversary of Vatican II. But we did ask some questions about that, and sort of in that spirit, going on about certain changes, how people would feel about changes in the church. And you, using your sociological background, had some really pointed questions on this. And one of them was if the church didn't adopt your teachings, your changes that you would like to see to the teachings, how would that affect you? And surprisingly, 66% of Catholics said whether they agree with most of the positions of the church or not, or had some differences, and only 27% believed it should modernize, but very few actually really wanted to go along with would defect from the church if their positions. Can you go a little bit more into detail?
Yeah, I mean, some people might say, well, wait a minute. Now, if you say you want some changes in the church, then why do you like the constancy? Because that's what people, listen, a lot of us as Catholics are ambivalent, okay? Sometimes a little bit contradictory. We get pulled this way, pulled that way. Should the church make this change and that change? You know, woman priest, priest married. Well, yeah, I'm okay with it. Because I've often said there's a difference between a preference and a demand. If people were demanding it, they would have run down the street to the local mainstream mainline Protestant church, because they don't believe in this stuff. The fact of the matter is, people do admire the church because it's a rock. Sure, it makes some changes. It has to. It's been around for 2,000 years. But in terms of the central dogmatic teachings, it's not going to change, nor should it change.
No, absolutely. So, dear viewer, this is just a little bit of the more important points that we wanted to talk about today. The survey was extensive, and we've got everything on our website for you to check out. CatholicLeague.org. We'll have a link in the description below. But on the website, you can find a short little summary of it that Bill wrote on Monday. You can find a longer version, and we're going to put that one in Catalyst next month. If you're not getting Catalyst, sign up and become a member. You can also do that at CatholicLeague.org. And Bill, you pointed out last week, we also have the top line data and a PowerPoint that McLaughlin Associates put together for us.
Right.
So, dear viewer, a lot more meat on this bone as well, but definitely do check it out. And if you could give this video a like and subscribe, that would greatly help us a lot. Thank you for watching. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you so much.